guys, I'm back with another video. So, I just joined the top 5 Wednesday group on Goodreads, which was started by Ginger Reed Delaney, and I am so excited to be joining because I've seen a lot of booktubers do this for a while, and I kind of want to do it because there's so many great topics. But this week I'm going to be doing the top 5 underrated books, but I cheated. It was hard for me to pick just 5, so I chose 6 books you guys have to know about. So I'm sorry I cheated. Anyway, let's get started.
So the first underrated books. Actually, there's no particular order for these. There's no order. It's gonna do whatever. So the first one is 2 books. I cheated 2 books from the same author. The author is Melissa Cantor, and she is not very popular. I don't think anybody knows about Melissa Cantor, but honestly, she's like one of my favorite contemporary authors. She wrote lots of books. I only read 2 books from her, which I'm going to show you right now. I have her third book. I have a third book from her called The Breakup Bible, but it's still on my TBR shelf, so I'm only doing books I've read. So anyway, let's get on with it. So the first book I brought from my school library, which is Melissa Cantor's first novel. It is called Confessions of a Naughty Girl, and I really love this book because the main character is average. There's nothing special about her. There's nothing she doesn't have
a special talent. There's just nothing really special about her. She's just an average girl who feels like she's just average. Like she's not good at anything. And I can so relate to that because I'm sick of reading books where the main character always discovers that, oh, they have a power. Or they were destined to do something amazing. To me, it's not always realistic. So I can relate so much to the character in this book. So this book is about the main character, the girl. She's a weird name. It's called Jam. I think it's called Jean or something like that. She's a senior in high school who lives in New York City, and she feels she's just, like I said before, she's just average. Her best friend is a popular it girl in New York City, and Jen feels there's nothing special or unique about herself. She has embarrassing parents, just an average, boring life. But she has a crush on this guy, and there's a little twist at the end. So good. But like I said, I love this book because I can relate so much to the main character. I always feel like there's nothing special about me. Yep, I feel like I have no talent, nothing. I'm just an average girl. It's like Confessions of a Not It Girl, which is me. I'm not an it girl. Yes, this was the author's very first novel. It was so good. It's such a light, cute, contemporary read. So I really recommend this. This was actually the second book I read from her. And I'll show you the first book I read from her in a second. Okay, so
the first book I read from her, which I loved, is called If I Have a Wicked Stepmother, Where's My Prince? And if you guys guessed it, this is a retelling of Cinderella, and it was so good. So good! I love this book, I really do. And my sister found this for me at a used bookstore after I already read it. I was planning on buying it in hardcover too. My sister found it for $1 at a used bookstore. I was like so happy. This book is so good though. Okay,
it's about this girl named Lucy. She's a sophomore in high school. Her dad remarries this woman. Yes, it's just like Cinderella. The lady is an evil stepmother. But of course, Lucy's dad doesn't know that, and it makes the reader think, why did he marry this lady in the first place? And so Lucy lives in the basement. They make her live in a crummy basement of the house where she doesn't get anything. So she has a pretty crummy life, and she has 2 evil stepsisters who, yes, they're very mean. And then at school, I believe she's into basketball. I haven't read this book in a while. I believe she's on the basketball team, and she has a crush on this guy I think he's a basketball player. And she likes this other, she meets this other guy in art class, and the main character's also into art, which is really cool because you don't read too many books about main characters who love art. My sister loves art, so she can relate to this. And yeah, there's also a twist at the end of this book, and it was so good. This was the first retelling I ever read. I love it so much. So I would recommend Melissa Cantor's books. If you guys haven't heard of her, because I'm sure no one has, honestly, I'm so glad I have heard of her because she's just an amazing contemporary author. Her books are so simple. I love her writing. I just love everything about her books. So guys, really check it out. Check out Confessions of a Naughty Girl and If I Have a Wicked Stepmother, Where's My Prince by Melissa Cantor. Like I said, I have another book from her, The Breakup Bible, but I haven't read it yet, so I'll do a review once I read it. So this counts as the first underrated book, 2, since I cheated and did 6. Next is a book
Maria, book lover writer 13, always talks about, and thank God she does because these books are amazing. I been reading this series since I was in middle school. I remember I was in the school library, and I heard this book, and I always loved frogs. Frogs are my favorite animals. I don't know why I love them. I always love them. So I found this in the library. I'm so glad I did. It is The Frog Princess series by Edie Baker. Oh gosh, I love this series. I love this series so much. It's a don't mind me from the video. It's okay. It's a retelling of The Frog Prince.
It's a retelling of The Frog Prince. It's about this girl Emma who's 14 years old, and she always goes in the swamps during the day. She always goes in the swamps just to get out of the castle because her mom drives her insane, and then she meets this frog named Edric. And at first she doesn't really like him, she thinks he's obnoxious, and there's a twist. The frog keeps asking Emma to kiss her, and so she finally does, but there's a twist. She turns into a frog. Instead of having instead of having the frog turn back into a prince, she turns into a frog, and so they go on this journey together to both turn each other back to humans, and it is so good. I read the whole series. I love the series so much. There's like 4 other books. Other books are Dragon's Breath, What's Upon a Curse, No Place for Magic, and the last one is The Salamander Spell, but I did not read it yet. I just bought it. But oh my gosh, this series is so amazing. I love the Frog Princess series. It's such an easy read. These books are not big at all. These are so underrated. No one knows about these. But if you love fairy tale retells, I highly recommend this series. Okay, the next book is another middle grade series, but there's only 2 books. But I'm just going to show you the first book.
I love this book. I got it from the Scholastic Book magazine when I was like 11. You know, the ones you used to get in middle school? I'm so glad I did. I love this book so much. It's called Isabelle the Whales. Oh my gosh. I love this book so much. This was such a popular book in my childhood for me. I probably read this book a million times. So I've read this book since I was like 11 or 12. I still read it. I got it on my Kindle, and I had to buy a new copy because it was all beat up. The front cover was like ripped off. The first 2 pages were ripped off. The spine
was all ripped up, so I bought a whole new copy. I love this book. It's about this 11-year-old girl named Isabelle, and she always loved the ocean. She always loved whales and dolphins, just the whole ocean pretty much. So when she's in 5th grade, she goes on a class field trip to a whale watch. So she gets to go on a whale watch, and of course she's so excited, and something happens, and so she falls overboard, and she turns into a whale. This book is so good, and when she's a whale, she really likes it, but she still wants to go back to land, and she meets such nice whales, and she meets a nice guy whale named Jessalou, so it's sort of a romance, and this book is so good. I loved it so much. I talked to the author, Hester Velmans, and I asked her if she was making a 3rd book, and also the 2nd book came out a couple years ago. When I saw there was a 2nd book on Amazon, oh my gosh, I freaked out. I was like, there's a 2nd book? Oh my gosh, I had no idea there was a 2nd book. And I have it, but I didn't want to show it. But oh my gosh, this series is so amazing, guys. Guys, really, if you love books about characters turning into something else, I highly recommend this book, though. It's a girl that turns into a whale, and also, I've always loved the ocean, too. My whole family did. See, I grew up going camping every year, so I always go camping at the beach and stuff. And, like, I always love the ocean. And I am so glad I read this book. Oh, so good. And you have to, if you read this one, pick up the 2nd book. I think it's called Jessalop's Song. And yes, so I talked to the author on Facebook, and I asked her if she was making a 3rd book. She said she's not sure yet, but I hope so. Oh, I love this book. See, I grew up with mostly middle grade reads because I'm not like in my 20s. I'm 19. So I have mostly middle grade books, but like, you know, since I've been watching the BookTube community, I've been getting into YA books. But yes, this is always going to be one of my favorite books. It's just so good. It's such a light, fun beach read. But guys, really, check this out now. Go on Goodreads. Go on Amazon. Check it out. It is amazing. Anyway, sorry I'm railing too much. Just check out Isabelle the Whales by Hester Velmans. Oh my gosh. You guys won't regret it. You won't. Anyway, the next book is a trilogy. I bought it from the library. I just saw the cover and I read the description. I was like, yeah, I'll just check it out. And I also saw it on Annabelle's channel, which is in the book corner. I saw it for one of her old bookshop tours. I don't know if she still has the book, but it's a trilogy. I only read the first 2 books, but I recently bought the whole trilogy and I love them. It is South Beach by Amy Friedman. Yeah, so this is a trilogy. So the first book is South Beach. The 2nd one is French Kiss, and the 3rd one is Hollywood Hills. And I love this series. Like, I only read the first 2 books. Haven't read the 3rd one yet, but I will. This is the perfect summer read. So it's about these 2 girls named Holly and Alexa. And they used to be best friends, but I forget what happened. I guess they just lost touch over the years. And they're actually a lot different. Like, Alexa's that girl who flirts with guys, thinks she's so pretty, but she has a nice side. She's a nice person. Then Holly's that normal girl, the normal good girl. And so they end up going to the beach together and hanging out together for the summer. So they become friends again, which I really liked. There was a lot of friendship in it. And and they both have boyfriends. So Alexa is dating this guy named Tyler, and Holly is dating this guy named, I'm sorry, I haven't read this book in so long. I think his name is Diego. I completely forgot. Yeah, so they each have boyfriends, but something happens, and if you read the second book, you'll know what happens. I don't want to spoil anything, but I thought it was kind of cool. So this is the perfect light summer beach read. It is so good. Guys, I just heard this from the library. Same with Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. I mean, I read that book at the library before it was even popular in BookTube, and I loved it, so I'm glad everyone in BookTube read it. Such a cute contemporary book. Anyway, yeah, really check out the series, so I'll tell you again. It's South Beach by Amy Friedman. And I read another book by Amy Friedman. I want to read all her books. I read another book from her called Sea Change, which I recently did a review for my blog. So check out my blog if you want to see the review for Sea Change. I liked it, but I don't know, a lot of things were missing. The romance was just and like there should have been a sequel. I think it's a standalone. So yeah, this series is definitely so much better. So I really recommend this if you're looking for a great summer read. Then I have 2 more books, guys. So the next book I thought it was popular, but no one in BookTube read it. And it's a movie. I love the movie just as much as I love the book. And guess what it is? It is The Help by Kathryn Stockett. This is the movie cover, by the way. My sister got this for me at Target. Oh my gosh, I love this book. I love the movie too. And here's how I got into The Help. So my junior year of high school, my best friend was reading this book. I guess she brought it from the library, and she was like laughing at a funny part. So she showed me a funny part. And she said to me, you have to read this book. So I borrowed it from the library, and I really liked it. It was such a good book. It's so different, guys. And there's also a movie. I love the movie, too. The movie's so good. It's such an inspirational book. It's not, there's no action. I'll tell you what it's about. Okay, there's 3 different point of views. So it's about this girl named Skeeter. She's 23, and she wants to be a writer. Right now she writes for a newspaper. Right now she writes for a newspaper, and she's hoping to be a novelist. And so she's best friends, like this is Skeeter, by the way, Emma Stone. Emma Stone plays her. Emma Stone is such a good actress, I love her. And she's she's best friends with this lady named Hilly, which is right here. You guys can't really see her. You have to watch the movie. This is the movie cover. So she sends to Hilly, and this girl named Elizabeth. And, oh, I'm so sorry, because I haven't read this in a while, so I have to summarize it. And so, they each have their own mates. This book takes place in the 1960s in Jackson, Mississippi. So it's kind of like historical fiction, but I actually really liked it. And I don't really read historical fiction. And so all these white women have black maids, maids to take care of everything, to help out at their house and everything, to raise their white children. And so Skeeter sees how badly they're treated. And so she teams up with Miss Hilly's old maid, which is Minnie. Minnie is an awesome woman. She's so funny. Like, she always talks back to people. She has that sassy mouth. But, like, I love Minnie so much. She's so funny. And especially in the movie. And also, Skeeter's other best friend, Elizabeth's maid, she talks to, which her name is Aibileen. I love Aibileen, too. She's a Christian lady. She's so nice. She loves, like, white babies. She loves taking care of kids. And so, Skeeter, Aibileen, and Minnie all team up to write this novel called The Help, about, like, the point of views and how terrible black maids are, like, treated in white homes. Like, how bad they're treated. They can't even use the same bathroom as white people. It was just so cruel. And, like, oh my gosh, this book is so good. It's so inspirational. And I love the movie, too. The movie has such a great cast. I love it so much. So, guys, if you haven't heard of The Help, or if you've heard of it, but you were never interested, I really recommend this book. It is so good. I believe this is adult. It's not YA, it is adult. But I really recommend The Help. So good. My sister didn't read the book yet, but my sister loved the movie. And also, tell you, thanks to my best friend, I heard of this book in the movie. So thanks, Emily.
Yes, I gotta say, and thank you, Emily, for telling me about this awesome book. And then, so there's one more book, guys.
This is really old. I heard of this from another friend, because I think when I was a sophomore, my friend was reading this at lunch, and I thought it sounded interesting, so she let me borrow it. It is so good. It is called The Year 2016 by, I can't pronounce the author's last name, Diane Swen. Her last name is spelled Schwemm. This book is so good. My twin sister loves this book. Yeah, I'm an identical twin. My sister loves this book so much, and of course so do I. So, this book is long. It's probably over 800 pages. It's because there's 4 different books in this. This was originally released in the 90s. Okay, this book it's 4 books based on 4 sisters. So they're all sisters in the same family, so they each have their own story about the year they turned 16. It is so good. So the author decided to make a bind up of all of them. And oh my gosh, it is so good. I'll tell you what each sister's story is about. And also, when I read this, I was 16, so I thought it was perfect. So the first sister's name is Rose. Rose dreams of becoming a singer. But she's the oldest sister, so she has a lot of responsibilities. And she meets this guy, and she has some boy troubles. But it ends in a very happy, satisfying ending. I loved Rose's story. Honestly, I can actually kind of relate to all of these sisters, all 4 of them. They all have unique qualities. They're all very likable. So the next sister's name is Daisy. I think they're all named pretty much after a flower. The next sister's name is Daisy. Daisy's a typical outgoing, athletic girl. And so she's sick of being the good sister, and she's drawn to a boy with a dangerous edge. Yeah, she's drawn to a dangerous boy. So I think you know what happens. So he kind of changes her, so she becomes more bad, more of a rebel. And her family doesn't like that because they wanted to see the sweet Daisy she is. And so it's still really good. And in all these books, all the sisters have boyfriends, which is so cool too. The next sister is my favorite. I think I can relate the most to her. Her name is Laurel. She loves animals and nature. She works at a wildlife rescue center, and for her 16th birthday, her best friend Jack, sort of, turns into more than a friend. Sorry if I kind of spoiled it for you, but I think it says it on the back too. Yeah. She has a best friend named Jack. She doesn't really have any girlfriends, like friends that are girls. So her best friend is Jack. Jack is so likable. I loved him. And so she ends up dating him, but oh my gosh, no. I hated how Laurel's story ended. I hated it so much, and guys, I don't want to spoil it. I hated how her story ended so much. No, no, and my sister agrees. No, well, why'd you have to do that? You'll find out if you read the book. And then the last sister, which I can also relate to, is Lily. Lily is a writer. Yeah, she's a writer. For her 16th birthday, when she's 16, she takes a creative writing class at school, which I can still relate to because my senior year of high school, which was last year, I took a creative writing class and I loved it because I loved to write. And she meets a guy, and yeah, I think you guys know what happens. So you know what I love about this book? It's not dirty. These books were originally from the 90s, but she bound these together and she made them kind of more modern. She changed a few things, and yeah, these books are not dirty at all. I don't even think there's swears in these books. So this is such a cute, such a cute contemporary read about 4 sisters and each of their the year they turned 16, what happens. So it's just so good. And thank you, my friend Olivia, for reading this book, because if it weren't for her, I never would have heard of it. And tell you, my twin sister also loves this book. Yeah. So those are all my books. Those are my top 6 underrated books that I don't think no one knows about. And guys, you all have to check out all those books. Check out all these books, because trust me, you will not regret it at all. You will not regret these books at all. So I highly recommend all 6 of these books. Oh yeah. Yep. You have to read all these. They're just incredible and amazing. And I feel bad for the authors because they're not discovered that well. And yes, these are all contemporary. What can I say? I love contemporary books. Yep. So that's it for today. That's my video for my top 6 underrated books. Like I said before, I really recommend you to check out all those books. If you want, I can put Goodreads links to them in the description bar. And yeah. This is my first Top 5 Wednesday video, and I loved it. I had so much fun. So thank you guys, and like and subscribe if you want more. Bye guys. See ya.